12 things I think it's 12, but that don't matter. But things I would do if I was in charge of NASCAR. Told her, you have 3 years to produce an overhead valve V8 pushrod engine in a rear-wheel drive car. If not, you are history. That goes for any foreign manufacturer wanting to get in. I would also try to get Dodge and the Chrysler Corporation back in racing. I would encourage GM and Ford in Sprint Cup. I would just soon see the Camaros and the Mustangs. They are rear-wheel drive, more or less, close as they get to muscle cars. Fighting, and this has came up a lot lately among drivers. If you go to another driver's car pit and you throw a punch, automatic 3-race suspension. There is no appeal. There is no taking it to court. If you take it to court and you win, inspectors can make your life miserable. Schedule-wise, no road courses. None. I don't like it. I would also like to get senators and representatives to tracks. And I'll tell you why. There is a law I think is dumb I want to see changed. Now, I'm not talking about buying a Kevin Harvick shirt with Budweiser all over it or a Brad Keselowski shirt with Miller Lite all over it. But when we were up in Kentucky, I think this was Friday. It was not Saturday, but I was at a souvenir trailer, and a friend of mine's nephew that was with us, he was 16 at the time. I think he's turned 17 now. He was at one of the Dillon Brothers trailers. And I wasn't paying any attention to what he was doing. He could handle himself. He wanted to buy, I think it was a Ty Dillon die-cast. They started asking him how old he was. Said, well, you can't. He told him 16, told him the truth, said you can't buy it. And they said he's got some small beer sponsorship, very small associate sponsor. Well, I don't have a problem with being the main sponsor. Let's face it, most parents, if their kids wear adult-sized clothes, are going to buy the shirts for them anyway. They don't care if they're race fans, but I'd like to see the law change. Trucks. If they have a dirt race, they ought to have 1 or 2 more, because you know the top teams are going to build 2 trucks for the dirt. Springfield and DuQuoin, Illinois come to mind. I believe they have pits capable of holding actual pit stops. But I want to talk about trucks on the short tracks. Let's go back to the halftime break from the early truck season. Possibly even on some speedways, even if you had to throw a caution halfway through the part of the thing and just keep position, let them come down, put fuel in it, or make any other adjustment. No tire changes. They have to take less people. As far as the chase, as much as I didn't like it when it came out, that new style chase did create some excitement, so I'd keep it. But I'd also try to get some companies to sponsor a bonus for the old style chase champ and the champ without chase. For instance, this year, old style chase champ, based on this year's system with last year's chase style, the champ was Logano. Without the chase, the champ was Jeff Gordon. So I'd like to see, they should have got something. Brian France, the boy Blunder. Flunder. Yeah, let's call him Flunder. That sounds good for him. The only way he's going to get in the race is buy a ticket. I want approval over announcers. And none with ties to race teams. That's been a conflict of interest for both Michael Waltrip and Brad Daugherty. Unfortunately, Waltrip looks like he'll be back next year. Now, he could do trucks as he don't own a truck, but I don't believe he should be doing Sprint Cup as he is involved in Sprint Cup ownership. Another thing I would do, sorry, I'm looking down at my notes, keep the souvenir row. That was another one of Boyd Blunder's thing, having something. And I've been wanting to talk to a friend of mine's dad that's big in golf. He's not a pro or anything, but he plays golf a lot, and I believe he went to the PGA at Valhalla. We're in the Louisville area. And I want to know what and he's been to NASCAR races. I want to know what he thinks of NASCAR's souvenir row versus PGA, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him, unfortunately. And there's 2 crew chiefs to close that would have a standing offer to become tech inspectors. Chad Knaus and Paul Wolf. They seem to work in the gray areas of the rules more than anybody going. So Just like a few years ago, they made Gary Nelson a tech inspector, and he caught more stuff than anybody going, probably because he had tried it or something similar. I remember he caught something on one of the Hendrick cars. I think it was Nadu back when he was driving. I'm thinking, yeah, that's something Gary Nelson had when he was there. But again, disclaimer, strictly based on my opinion. And of course, you're never going to get rid of Brian France, unfortunately. I would keep Mike Helton, by the way. I respect Mike Helton, but oh, I think I missed one. The appeals committee would be completely restructured, because I did a couple vlogs who's on it and what I thought of them. Called out a conflict of interest with Robert Yates being on it and his son building all the Ford engines and so forth. So, you know, this is just for fun. It's never going to happen. There's nobody not named France or from the France family in the foreseeable future is going to be in charge of NASCAR.